Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Game Changer. I'm Mariam Zia and joining me is Faisal Raza Khan. We are bringing you the special program of a Game Changer on the ongoing visit of Prime Minister Anwaarul Haq Kakar to the United Arab Emirates. Of course, Interim Prime Minister is on the visit to UAE from November 26th to 28th, and in this significant visit, Prime Minister will be meeting with the President of UAE, Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al-Nahyan. And of course, the two leaders will be discussing bilateral relations between the both countries and what fields are there in which both countries can advance their ties. Of course, there will be discussions about enhancing the trade and investment between both the countries. And of course, Faisal.
Yeah, definitely. It is very important visit because Pakistan has a pivotal focus now on its economy, trade and investments particularly, and Prime Minister Anwaarul Haq Kakar's visit is significant in this regard that during this visit lots of memorandums of understanding are going to be signed between Pakistan and United Arab Emirates, like investment cooperation in the sectors of energy, port operations projects along with the wastewater treatment, then food security, logistics, mining, aviation and banking and financial services as well. So it is very important visit in a sense that both countries have an historical relation, having religious bonds as well as a long partnership in between regarding bilateral investments on both sides. It is reciprocal even, and rightly said by Mariam that Prime Minister would also having a meeting with the leadership of the UAE, particularly with the United Arab Emirates President Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al-Nahyan. It is going to be a very important meeting as well, and UAE has a significance that at least 1.8 million Pakistanis are living over there, and they are contributing Pakistan's economy through their remittances. And UAE, from UAE, Pakistanis are contributing at least more than 4 million of this is a very important scenario at that time. And Mariam,
Right,
we have in our studios
Eminent
right
panel,
now.
of
Yes,
course.
definitely. And we have with us right now Dr. Zafar Nawaz Jaspal. He is the professor of Qaid-e-Azam University, very senior professor. Along with him, Dr. Zayed Shamsi Sahab. He is the senior analyst. Along with our panel here in studios, we have online Dr. Hasnan Javed. He is the senior economist. So most welcome to you all in studios and online as well. Mariam, please.
Right, of course. Dr. Jaspal, let me start with you with the very basic question. Of course, this visit is very significant of Prime Minister Anwaarul Haq Kakar. What do you think, in your opinion, are objectives that Pakistan is aiming to achieve out of this significant three-day visit?
I think that the Prime Minister will be focusing on the two important developments which took place in recent, you can say, past. One was that Pakistan in June created Special Investment Council for the sake of what you call it facilitation, Special Investment Facilitation Council for capturing the Pakistan's mining and other you call it mineral sector, and capitalizing and tapping that potential of the country. And second most important thing was that the Pakistan and Gulf GCC, Gulf Council countries signed an agreement recently for the trade and these kind of and revival of the previous kind of things. And UAE is one of the most important country of the 6 GCC. And being with this, when we look about these kind of things, there are many opportunities which Pakistan is trying to tap. For example, starting with the GCC, we have a target of the agriculture, food security, energy, port and shipping, or these kind of the things. What the Foreign Office released, and according to the past history, there are many projects which were going on, and once again Foreign Office also has reiterated that the Prime Minister will be focusing for materializing these projects with the UAE when he's meeting with the including the head of the state in there and other officials in these 2 days. And definitely one can be optimistic about the working and you can say bilateral, increasing bilateral trade, investment and these kind of the projects.
So Shamsi Sahab, if you just elaborate that Pakistan has a very vibrant cooperation between both the countries, UAE and Pakistan. So Prime Minister's visit and then lots of MoUs are going to be signed. So how do you see this bilateral cooperation, particularly in the wake of as Pakistan is focusing a lot at trade, economy and investments, particularly the foreign direct investments?
The significance of the visit is reflected that we are having a live program on the subject. Yes, this visit is very important in the sense that UAE is always considered as the second home for Pakistan. Until very recently, we were playing our cricket matches as a home ground,
Of course.
home series. So the visit is very significant because at the moment we are actually short of a lot of funds on the projects that we've already started, and the present interim government is trying very hard to get them back on track, and maybe if they are able to complete it within their tenure, they would love to do that. In the same context, UAE can be a great help as far as the direct investment is concerned because they have surplus funds available and they want to diversify their own economy. And they can do best by investing in nearby states like Pakistan, where the opportunities are available in abundance, starting from mining, port shipping, railway, airways, airlines. I mean, Emirates would love to have cooperation with the PIA and revive it. Then tourism is one sector in which UAE has always been eyeing because UAE being the hub of two of the largest and the best airlines of the region, that is Emirates and Etihad. So they can bring in a lot of people to the hub and then fly them into Pakistan because they are flying to some 6-7 cities of Pakistan, which is very very encouraging.
We will be talking in depth about all these sectors, but Dr. Hasnain, let me start with the basic question of economic ties between Pakistan and UAE, because one of the significant purposes of this visit is to enhance and advance economic ties, trade relations between both the countries. What are the key sectors in which both countries are contributing as of now, and how do you see that economic relations between both the countries have evolved over time?
Pakistan and UAE relationship. So as PM had said, would updated the word at the COP28. So first, I just wanted to mention that UAE is the very important member in COP27, and then they are participating in COP28, which is very much important in any way other. So COP28 conference about experience in the wake of climate change. Second, what we have the relationship with the UAE is the remain Pakistan largest trading partner in the Middle East, and the North Africa, what we call it MENA region, with an average annual trade of $8 billion. So, which is a huge amount. So now from the 2021 to 2022, Pakistan UAE bilateral trade increased by 25.40% as compared to the previous year. So amounting to the 10.60 billion in total, which is now. So that figure gives you the increase day by day. And now, interestingly, the trade figure between the Pakistan and UAE this year are also very encouraging. For the 2 months of the Jan and Feb, in 2023, trade figures crossed over $1 billion. $1 billion mean with the food and textile as a major export item to UAE. So your particular question is which area? So the specific area is the food and textile. And for that reason, we are focusing on the food and the textile. So all these investment from $1 billion food and textile as a major export items to the UAE. And there are more than 1.6 million Pakistani workers in a UAE in diversified field. So in total, you can calculate the higher number of.
But Dr. Hasnain, let's talk about some of the key agreements that have helped to facilitate the trade volume between both the countries, and also what are major commodities when we talk about the bilateral economic or trade ties between both the countries.
Yeah, this is very much again the second part of the answer is like if I talk about the total number under the SIFC program, because the main part under this discussion is the SIFC and how can we get the foreign trade investment. So in September, the PM confirmed that the Saudi Arabia UAE will invest $25 billion each in Pakistan in 2 to 5 years under the Special Investment Facilitation SIFC. So there is the identified project including the Saudi Aramco refinery, Taipei gas pipeline, Tharkod railway connectivity, hydropower project of 240 megawatt, 245 megawatt, I'm sorry, and Gilgit-Baltistan. So handing over to the 85,000 acre of the land to the single investor, which is huge, and the establishment of the cloud infrastructure and telecom infrastructure deployment. So in July, Pakistan established a Land Information and Management System Center of Excellence, or what we call it LIMS, and COE to the modernize its agriculture sector, with the Saudi Arabia provide an initial $500 million investment to set up the facility. So that is quite huge. But specifically the UAE, of course, including the UAE and the Saudi, they are the positive partners of the each area. But when we call it about the other things, for example, it comes to the facilitation of the mining, it is a facilitation of the port, it is the facilitation of the Gwadar area. Of course,
right.
The $25 billion layout is handing over very soon.
Right, of course, these are significant developments.
Yeah, definitely it is important. Shamsi Sahib, if we just go through the bilaterals between Pakistan and UAE, how both countries supplement each other with the different sort of expertise, like if UAE has the investments, then Pakistan has the expertise in agriculture and all that. So UAE requires food security, Pakistan wants investments in the country, and also the food security. So how both countries can complement and supplement each other?
UAE and Pakistan have a very long history of cooperation in trade and investment, trade and commerce. And UAE is always backed up Pakistan in times of difficulty, like Saudi Arabia and China. So I'm very keen at looking at the investment in defense production as well. Why? Because Dubai organizes Dubai air shows, and where Pakistan showcases, the depot was there, and all our aircraft were there displaying and getting a lot of applause. So I'm very keen on that sector. Secondly, as you pointed out, the agriculture, because they are the net food importers, and they import the food from all over the world, and we have alhamdulillah surplus agriculture land, which now the institution is looking after, the corporate agriculture farming, and the expectation is that very soon we will be able to have surplus veggies and fruits that will be able to export to UAE. Likewise, in olives, there is a huge consumption of olives in all Arab countries, and Pakistan, inshallah, from 2024 onwards will become a olive exporter country.
Right. But Dr. Shamsi, when we talk about the trade volume, do you think there are certain challenges or obstacles that have hindered the potential that the both countries could reach in terms of economic ties or in terms of the trade volume?
Unfortunately, they are all universal. All hindrances are universal for Pakistan. And
but
that is the execution.
After the launch of SIFC, we are going to be...
I am coming to that, because this is one area where we have suffered the most. No matter how many MOUs, how many agreements, how many treaties we sign, there are inherently bureaucratic delays on our part. For the same purpose, SIFC has been formed, and it has taken off in a very brisk pace. And expectation is that it will help remove all those hurdles
and bottlenecks
which are causing stress on Pakistan's economy. That is my expectation.
Right. Can you highlight some of these challenges, Dr. Jaspal, and how Pakistan should be tackling that, especially when we view it from the lens of this ongoing visit?
Well, look, we have to keep in mind that the UAE, United Arab Emirates, is the third biggest trade partner of Pakistan after UAE, China. So it means that our products are there, and there are many facilitations as well. 1.8 million people are working in there, and in that context there are certain, you can say, SOP have been already set. Obviously, there is a more room for improvement, and what the Dr. Shamsi was highlighting, the most important problem is that our geostrategic environment, when we look about these kind of the investments or projects, like you have referred that this council which was created in June 2023, and now our focus is one window operation for attracting the investment in this context. But the issue is that if you see, UAE has an interest, like Saudis have an interest, and other countries have an interest, and definitely Prime Minister Kakar will be going to draw their attention towards it, that we are here, we have this program. If European investors comes into the Pakistan, definitely we facilitate them, but the biggest challenge is when the investors comes to the Pakistan, our neighboring countries, eastern and western neighbors, they create such an environment that even students are not coming to the Pakistan. So our environment has been created or polluted by our neighbors in a manner that no one investor is coming. But I think Prime Minister this visit will be going to, you can say, create some kind of a trust between them and us, that if your investor will come, their life and property and their investment will be secured.
Right.
Second area here is that where the UAE and Pakistan, look, we have to not forget, this world is a world of competition. Quality matters, and the UAE living standard, or within the UAE, the quality of the foods or these things is very much monitored and taken.
Dr. Hasnan, when we are talking about Pakistan's economy and collaboration with UAE, as Dr. Jaspal pointed out, that UAE is more focused upon biosecurity and biosafety. So when we are talking about food or food security or production through agriculture and UAE investments in Pakistan, so how we are going to be more quantitative, qualitative, so that we can compete in UAE market?
QA insurance, quality assurance is a must for us. So I requested the Board of Investment, I requested the Ministry of Industries and Commerce, I requested the Ministry of Commerce that we must have to ensure the quality assurances service, where the important things have to be discussed. For example, the rice quality assurance. I mean, most of the rice is going from the India. So why it is so? I mean, we have the basmati, we have the standard. There is a 1 millisecond of the 1 mm of the technical standards. There are the 100 of the standards. Recently, I got the order for the 50,000 ton of the rice. I asked to different vendors, but Pakistan did not make it. All of the vendors cannot as per the standard of the international standard quality. And why we are not focusing on the quality assurance? Why we are not working on the quality assurance and services? Like, for example, there is a Six Sigma technology, there is a quality assurance strategies. There are the Six Sigma. In Six Sigma, there is an error of 3.4. So if there is an error of 3.4, that means the highest quality standard can be maintained. So all are the commodities, from the rice, from the pulses to the meat, and $850 billion of the meat is being exported from the Belarus and imported from the other countries.
What are the choices, Dr. Hasnan, and how do you see the value addition into the Pakistani products? Because this is very important. We are exporting most of the time the raw material rather than to be the value added products to any destination, and particularly when we are talking about UAE is very quality conscious.
Yes, of course. I mean, do you know that they are the desert and they are producing the wheat? So this is a question, and this is thought processing under the Pakistan ministries, that we are producing the high level of the wheat, and they are producing on the desert. So there must be some problem. So agriculture mechanization on the highest level, quality assurance, quality facilitation, quality standard mechanization, and understanding the quality standard and licensing area in the Board of the import and export license is assured. And believe in me, when I go to Ministry of Industries, the department doesn't know about the product commodity licensing assurance services. They did not know anything about it. So this is the big question mark. So SIFC must have to function all these, and there must be steering committee for this. One is the quality assurance, second is the product quality, the third is the quality assurance on a highest rate, and then the freight charges.
Our food products or fruits are very much quality-wise higher. That is not a problem.
No doubt about it.
There's a problem. There are two problems. When you go for harvesting, let's say collecting the mangoes and then exporting, you need a special kind of a technique of vaccination.
Yes.
So that it will be free from bacteria. And normally our farmers or investors have a
Phytosanitary approaches
something like
must
that.
have
Same is in the case of, let's say, citrus. Now the citrus season has started and we have a number of the vaccination factories in the district of Sargodha, and they do it. But when we try to export, some kind of delay in our government policies also delayed. So in both way. So if you make your trade policies, and especially fruit trade policies, and make your overcome the bureaucratic hurdles, then the time will be decreased.
Obviously.
So these are perishable items, especially mango. For how long you will keep it?
You're talking about shelf life.
Yeah, shelf life to improve it, and then within the they are now coming up with this quality control. They say, let's say you have a, for example, we give it too much fertilizers. And with the fertilizers, we add too much for the growth of these. And same is with the chicken farming.
Yes.
That we give it too much, you can say.
Quality control is very important.
So even what the feeding to the chicken or what you are giving using the fertilizers, they both are very important for the food items.
Of course.
Those are the quality areas where there is a need. The government is very much, you can say, harsh on you can say people on smoke, but on the fertilizer they are not looking these things. So there are many things in that.
Both countries, Pakistan and UAE, can collaborate further, and we will be talking more about it, and also about the diversification of trade and how to enhance the trade volume. We will also be talking about the MoUs that are expected to be signed and how they are going to be helpful in addressing the issues that have been highlighted by our panelists, but we will take a short break here. Welcome back. We are talking about the ongoing significant visit of Prime Minister Anwaarul Haq Kakar to United Arab Emirates, and we are talking about the MoUs that are expected to be signed in this important visit. And of course we are discussing the dynamic relationship between Pakistan and UAE, and to discuss more about it, we are joined in the studios by Syed Mohamed Ayub Shah, who is senior analyst. Welcome to the program. And we are joined also by Mr. Shehjar Khan, who is senior analyst. Welcome to the program. And of course we are joined online by Dr. Hasnain Javed. Of course, Syed Mohamed Ayub Shah, let me start with you. Of course, we are talking about the economic relationship between Pakistan and UAE. And of course, when we talk about UAE, free economic zones are an important aspect when we talk about investments. How do you think that is one aspect in which Pakistan can attract foreign direct investment?
As you know, the global capital is moving now and have been moving over the last number of decades to the UAE because of the oil exports. So they have a lot of capital accumulation ready for investment anywhere in the world, wherever they see profitability. Of course, we being the next door neighbors sitting just across the Red Sea and Persian Gulf, and enjoying kind of a friendly relationship over the historic perspective, have more often opportunities to be offered to the nice UAE investors, both private and their public sector. As far as the energy is concerned that you talked about, we as a growing nation, as a developing nation, are in need of energy. We are highly energy dependent, and we are unfortunately dependent upon the non-renewable energy resources that are the oil imports, and they are also imbalancing our foreign exchange balances or the trade balance. So yes, there's a need for us to go on to the renewable energy, and UAE, who are the expert people now and emerging in every field because of their huge capital and investments onto the area, they have a lot of potential to come and collaborate with us. to transform Pakistan onto a renewable energy platform and adopting those kind of energy needs. Capital is an essential part of every venture that you talked about. It may be energy, it may be investment, it may be industrialization, it may be taking the economy to the next level. So yes, that capital gap or the investment gap that we are facing at the moment can be filled very rightly by the UAE because of their capital surplus, and they have also attained a lot of expertise in comparison to Pakistan, owing to their forward-looking policies and forward-looking.
Right. Can you elaborate on some of the projects, specifically when we talk about hydro, solar, or wind power, and how can both countries can collaborate for joint ventures? Of course, like you mentioned, that we are in need of energy, and of course, there's a lot of potential when we talk about UAE, but somehow we have not realized, unfortunately, that potential to the fullest.
And if I can add into
Sure.
that, we are just talking about MOU in energy sector, and today it is very important that we have to go on with the solar energy, the renewables and the alternative energy, and UAE is ahead in that, particularly when the Chinese companies are investing too much into the UAE, and they are shifting themselves towards the alternative and the renewable energy. So how do you see that investment into the new arena of energy?
Yes, Pakistan needs an energy mix which is more, the major part of which should be renewable one, and it comprises both the solar, it comprises the hydro, and it comprises the wind energy, and other means. Now there are new areas coming up which are the modern use of the chemicals, and also there's nuclear energy part of it. All these are, in fact, the energy acquisition, energy mean or generation acquisition is capital intensive. So if we have to establish a hydro power generation capacity or capability, then we need a lot of investment onto our hydro resources. Similarly, talking about the solar one and the wind one, the wind one and the solar one are energy also investment intensive at the start, at the establishment level. And then the cost benefit analysis reduces over the years, so they pay back over the years, and that kind of a I must say long-term investment, sustained investment, that can sustain both the initial establishment of a facility of the capability, and then later on the sustained maintenance of that capability is needed, and in that UAE can help a lot, as I said earlier, in terms of the capital, number one, and in terms of the expertise also. They, despite being, I'll talk of the KSA and also the UAE part, they, despite being very, the oil producing countries, they are moving on to the energy mix, which comprises of both renewable and non-renewable.
The port operation project. So what it means actually, what it means for Pakistan?
So first of all, the main purpose behind getting UAE's investment in port operations in Pakistan is to first of all expand the capacity of Pakistani ports. So this is like visualized in the expansion under the CPEC project as well. So when it comes to Gwadar port, when it comes to Port Qasim and the other ports in Karachi, the whole capacity issue is there, and like mostly the ports used when it comes to import and export operations for Pakistan, they are mainly based in Karachi and Port Qasim. So when we want to like expand and build our capacity in terms of like operationalization of the Gwadar port, that area and that capacity is still missing. So these are the two ports where Pakistan is seeking investment, and we also heard about the oil refinery project that Pakistan is trying to get Saudi Arabia on board to establish an oil refinery in Gwadar as well. The key challenge that is like emerging right now, we don't have enough berths to basically take the international capacity on board. So that is why we want UAE on board and to like see a horizon for like the next like 5 to 10 years in which most of the global trade will be going through this strait and like the Arabian Sea. This is like a very lucrative opportunity to get international partnerships on board to invest now to reap the benefits in the future.
Right, and talking about reaping the benefits, Dr. Snan, how do you think that collaboration in energy sector is going to foster innovation and technology transfer between both the countries? Specifically, when we talk about these joint ventures, can you tell us about some of the joint ventures in this regard that are already in pipeline?
PM also confirmed that the Saudi Arabia and UAE will invest 25 billion in each of the project. But specifically if we talk about the energy mix, so energy mix is very much important. So underlying project is identify the project including the Saudi Aramco refineries and most of the refineries coming from the UAE. We needed that because we have the 4 refineries, including all of the refineries. We are unable to refine all of the process. If we take the oil from the Russia, if we take oil from the other resources, the crude oil or the 50% of the oil which is not needed by the industry, or the 50% of the oil is needed by the industry, that is the different one. So petroleum or the use by the car is a different one, and there's the other type 43451 is the different type. So in that case, we needed more refineries. So we need a joint venture business, and one thing more, it is just an investment one-sided. So far now, because business is all about the outcome, what we take and what they take. So it is not the trade, it is somehow the investment. So initial phase, the UAE and Saudi Arabia is coming for the investment.
How do you see that? Because Pakistan is considerably a water scarce country now. Pakistan's population is growing. Pakistan need water for industry, for population, for agriculture, everything. And now we have lot more wastewater which is available to treat on. So how do you see that aspect? Along with that, the reverse osmosis or treating the saline water, which is obviously very much needed in the coastal areas, particularly in Gawada. How do you see that, sir?
Pakistan is facing a huge shortage of water. We are a water-starved country by any definition. And amongst the other ways, that is usage of the surface water or water, from the atmosphere, the recycling of the wastewater is an important factor. And you can gain more than 50% of the water back recycled in a consumable form using any of the process. Of course, the major being the reverse osmosis. So yes, we need water recycling, water treatment at every level, at domestic level, then coming on to the community level in our major cities. Islamabad itself is a water scarce city. And then this kind of and desalination is yet another part. That's the seawater desalination, which used to be a costly affair because it was energy intensive. But now I think with the use of the solar power, powering up the reverse osmosis plants, or the desalination plants in both the case that I'm talking about, this is becoming feasible option.
How Pakistan and UAE can collaborate in logistics and aviation, because you know that Pakistan has lots of things to do in aviation because it's a huge industry, but unfortunately not at par.
So as soon as that privatization is complete, the private sector will be open in Pakistan to invest in these areas. And for that, there's like a lot of potential for international airlines to come to Pakistan and for domestic airline industry in Pakistan to thrive as well. For that, it's very imperative that we can take lead from the UAE-based companies. There is also a discussion on outsourcing of Pakistan's airports as well. So that discussion is taking place with UAE as well as Qatar, and they've shown a lot of interest in developing the airports as well, and to support the aviation industry as well. So private airlines, they have a huge role to play in building up Pakistan's local airline industry.
Right, of course, this is significant. But Dr. Sen, moving towards the mining sector, what do you think are some of the opportunities and as well as the challenges that lie in the mining sector and how it can contribute to the economic diversification in Pakistan?
So now we are going for the arrangement, for example, 25% goes for the federal, 25% go for that company, and the 50% must go to the Balochistan. Or of course the whole of the arrangement. But the mining area is the most specific area, and this SIFC program is focusing on the mining program. So under the mining program, 100 of the 100 products and 100 of the 100 metals and minerals and mine and phosphorus and what would you just name it. So there is 100 things. But after the BTLs, what we call is the bilateral trade agreements. This is the main core problematic area for Pakistan. We should come out of the bilateral trade agreement between the two countries. It should not be that way. it should be go that way. For example, if World Bank wanted to do that, some of the Italian companies, some of the other companies, or some of the explorative companies, those who want to be, and then we can make out the feasible share, which we can get, for example, maximum out of the Balochistan, and we must have to give the maximum share to Balochistan.
Right.
This is our need of the time, and then the companies, those who want to explore, and must not waste our time into the pre-feasibility and feasibility. We already have that.
UAE and Pakistan collaboration, UAE is investing heavily into the new technologies, cutting edge technologies like artificial intelligence, like robotics, like cloud computing and all that. So how Pakistan get benefit from UAE in these areas, because Pakistan needs to diversify its economy?
Yes, very rightly brought out. These technologies are called as disruptive technologies, and they will define the future of the international market. And they are already now occupying a sizable portion in the international GDP, and this proportion that they have occupied will keep increasing year on year because of their disruptive nature and the facilitation that they have brought about in the lives of the human beings. Now coming on to the UAE facilitating, of course the UAE is not the major player in these technologies, both the AI and other, and they are in the research phase, they are in the acquisition phase. They have done quite a bit in case of the space technologies, but there's nothing as such that predominantly globally visible in the AI and other technologies, but they are investing heavily, they are aspiring for it. And the two countries, we are the like-minded people. As I said, we have a lot of affinity with each other. So the two countries collaboratively can do a lot.
When we are talking about cutting edge technologies, Shahriyar, Pakistan is earlier exporting manpower to different countries, particularly the GCC countries, the Gulf Cooperation Council, including UAE. So how do you see that? Because it's entirely changed now. You need not with the meager skills, but the highly skilled people equipped with lots of cutting edge technologies, so that they can earn a lot from there and remit it back to the country, in a sense that Pakistan can grow out of that. This is the one aspect of economy. So how do you see the skilled, highly skilled manpower equipped with all technologies? Because Pakistan needs to do a lot in that sense.
So there are like two models that you have just like mentioned. One is basically the remittance model. In the remittance model, we send a highly skilled labor or general labor to other countries where they perform their services, and they send foreign reserves or foreign exchange back to Pakistan. The other model is like the IT companies that are based in Pakistan, and they get like international projects from UAE or the Middle East or any Western countries. They develop
Pool
those
in
projects.
businesses like
yes.
that.
So they develop projects in Pakistan, and that attracts foreign reserves to Pakistan as well. So these are the two models. I think the second model is more lucrative, because at the end of the day, we don't want like a lot of brain drain, and we want like the Pakistani youth or the tech companies to establish themselves in Pakistan and attract investments that come directly to Pakistan in the form of FDI. One of the key areas where I see a lot of synergy between Pakistani companies and UAE, where we can both collaborate, is like financial services.
Yes, definitely.
So UAE is, when it comes to AI and tech-based financial services, UAE is an industry leader when we talk about digital financial services. So
Right.
digital financial services is like one area where Pakistan has a large and a huge population which is unbanked, and they don't have like bank accounts.
Right. So, Shahriyar, can you elaborate on some of the projects that are covered by these banking and financial sectors, and how they are going to strengthen Pakistan's own financial sector when we talk about its collaboration with UAE?
So Mariam, when we talk about Pakistan and the informal economy, the main reason why Pakistan has an informal economy is that a lot of like businesses or a lot of like small scale businesses, they are not comfortable in opening banks with Pakistan, and a lot of like business goes in cash. So that is like one of the problems. So when we basically bring digital financial services, you don't really have to physically go to a brick and mortar building to establish a bank account. You can establish a bank account using your mobile services as well. And that at least will bring those people from the unbanked and into the formal economy as well.
Definitely.
Major area that we are lacking and we really need to use the expertise of UAE is the influx of the foreign capital and sending back of the foreign currency.
Of course.
We have not been able to, we have restricted foreign currency accounts available in Pakistan, and this is one of the challenge faced by our tech companies particularly, because they cannot bring in their earnings to Pakistan, and once they bring in their earnings from abroad to Pakistan, they cannot send it back, you know. So the movement of the capital has been very well regulated by the UAE people. Of course, they were capital rich people also, but then their policies are very proactive.
Obviously.
And secondly, of course, the sector that accentuates the financial sector is the industry, is the production sector as a whole. And they've been very good at the production sector. Their modern practices as of today, we talked about very rightly, Dr. Sab talked about the aviation industry. Their aviation model is one of the latest and one of the highest known model in the world.
When we talk about UAE Pakistan assistance program, and of course how can we link it to the school, the cloud school, or for skills development, specifically when we talk about AI. How do you think both countries can collaborate, and what kind of assistance can UAE provide to Pakistan, specifically in education sector? Of course, it has earlier collaborated in health sector as well. So how do you think this visit can help in some kind of collaboration in that regard?
Thank you very much for asking me for the solution. Now I'm not telling you anything about the information, I'm giving you the solution. So solution is that the cloud school. So cloud school can, for example, there is a UNICEF, there is a UNIDO, UNESCO, all these forums are working, but they are working on the with the no direction. I mean, if the people are not working for the plumbing, if they are not for the welding, people are students are not interested in other skills. What they are offering, because Pakistan is giving them the sheet what they need. So what we need is in our villages, they must have to count the students, and then they have to put up the wireless system with the collaboration of WWF, WWFP, or for example, World Food Security, World Health Organization, World International Literacy, or the Poverty Alleviation Department of the UN. And then after the collaboration, we can install the cloud school, and 100 million of the people in the China, in the global north, in most of the areas in the South Africa come out of the illiteracy rate. So in that way, if we install this project, that the cloud schooling is going on the way, and that we can come out of the literacy. Then in the second phase, we can talk about the agriculture mechanization, we can talk about the other thing. Otherwise, if there is no literacy, how can we, I mean, 220 million people, we have to manage them. If there is a law, I mean, automation or the industrial motorization or the manufacturing automation, where we send our people or human resource, first we have to utilize our human resource. And first, the very most important thing is, first we need to understand our own anthropology. We cannot follow any other lines.
Shayar, when we are talking about UAE's investment in Pakistan, why not Pakistan's business ventures, which are highly lucrative and already earning a lot, and they have might be some of the chains in any other country? Why not in the Gulf countries? Why not into the Saudi Arabia? Why not into the UAE and Qatar and all other countries to earn more foreign exchange for Pakistan? Ultimately, they bring all their foreign exchange to Pakistan. So why not we are bringing those businesses to the other countries like UAE?
So one of the areas where Pakistan can really focus, and historically has focused, is the exports of food items to the UAE. And this is very in line with the SIFC's mandate as well. And this is like one area where there is a lot of like potential of collaboration. As Dr. Saab was also mentioning, that what does Pakistan have and what does the UAE have, and the differences that can be complemented by each other. So food security is like one area where GCC countries have always looked outside from their geographical bounds, and they import at least like 80% of their food items from across the globe. Why is that? Because their geographical area is very desertified. So it's not very ripe for agriculture. So what they basically do is they import, and they basically hire land in developing countries, and they develop their agriculture and then import those food items to their own countries. They brand them, they add value added services, and then they use it for their local population, and they also export it to Europe as well.
Viewers, we all know that how much Pakistan and United Arab Emirates relations are important. Prime Minister Anwaarul Haq Kakar is on a 2-day official visit to United Arab Emirates, and having a lot said that about the Pakistan-UAE relations, obviously Pakistan and UAE both are going to sign lots of MOUs between each other, and it is going to be a new era in Pakistan-UAE relations. Bilateral relations are at its peak as Pakistan wants to have real-time practical relations and real-time the digital economy, the overall the climate smart technologies, and also to have more robust aviation. Along with that, the water treatment in our country, because the wastewater treatment is one of the very important segment. Along with that, Pakistan is energy deficient and want energy mix into its economy. Ultimately, when these agreements, when these MOUs are going to be signed, hopefully that Pakistan and UAE both are going to be at the win-win situation, and Pakistan wants it to have better economic relations with the UAE.
Of course, and this visit is significant in that regard, and we had eminent panel. Thank you very much, Mr. Zayed, Mohamed Ayub Shah Saab, for joining us in today's program. Thank you very much, Mr. Shahriyar Khan, for joining us in this special transmission, and thank you very much, Dr. Hasnain Javed, for joining us online in this transmission. Of course, opportunities are unlimited when we talk about advancing the bilateral ties between Pakistan and United Arab Emirates. And of course, that's all from our side. Me, Maryam Zia, and Faisal Raza Khan is signing off. Thank you very much. Take care.